What's up, anybody that's viewing this video? I wanted to make this video to not collaborate, but as a response to Mr. Cami Cakes and your Cami Cakes build loadout for PvP just for fun. I thought it'd be kind of cool to do this, to talk about the stuff that we use in the Crucible all the time, scheming, all that kind of stuff. Scheming, fiending, trying to get them kills, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to take some time to look through the kind of stuff that I use pretty regularly in the Crucible. I generally play Nova Warp. I've been a day 1 D1 Voidlock since the beginning, and Nova Warp is, well, it's just fantastic right now. I do use a lot of the other different subclasses, though, every once in a while, too, when I get tired of, trying to chase after that Slayer or 7th Column. So let me break into some of the weapons. So Vigilance Wing is pretty decent right now, actually, in comp, because I tend to solo queue in comp. I often have a lot of blueberries on my team, and that's nothing against them, but sometimes they do die quite often. So Harsh Truths is actually a pretty nice perk to have. It feels pretty rewarding when you're solo queuing. It has the same base TTK as a pretty decent Bygones roll, which is pretty good, so it's a competitive-ish pulse rifle. It seems pretty consistent. It's pretty forgiving. That's the other part too, is that it's forgiving, and so on and so forth. There's a couple of other exotics that we can go into. Cerberus +1, Ace of Spades. I don't really use Ace of Spades a lot, but I keep it in my inventory for sentimental purposes, and because I also don't really use hand cannons all that often, it's a good one for me to practice and warm up with because it's pretty forgiving and get used to the shot cadence and all that kind of stuff. So I do use it every once in a while. It's just not the most end-all be-all weapon in my loadout. But it is there because I like it there. It's a good gun. So Vigilance Wing is pretty interesting. It feels pretty rewarding right now. Wish Ender I'll talk about a little bit later on. And I guess we can start getting into some of my other weapons here. This is my Tiger Spite. A lot of people don't really like auto rifles right now, but this has a really good roll on it. It has kill clip, high impact reserves, ricochet rounds, and then I think it's full bore or small bore. It's small bore, and then a fluted barrel to help with any handling issues I might have, but I just use small bore. It's got a stability masterwork, and I use a targeting adjuster because it's got pretty decent range. It kind of locks in once you start firing it. I don't know why that's the targeting adjuster kicking in, but it feels really potent. And I use that quite a bit, as I'm indicating in the background, with the Attunement of Grace, not Grace. Whichever one does the Well of Radiance. I think it is Attunement of Grace. But I use that quite often there because it has a pretty fast cadence of fire and has multiple ramping damage escalation perks. This is my Antiope. I haven't ever seen a better Antiope in my life. It's fantastic. I love it in every single way. It has high caliber rounds, Zen Moment, and Kill Clip with a HC Hollow Sight, a Stability Masterwork, and then I use a free hand grip with it. This thing is a fucking gem, and I love it in every way. I don't use it all the time, but it is very reliable. Once that Zen Moment kicks in, it just locks in, and it shreds people. It's fucking gross, and I love it. This is my Bite of the Fox. It's similar to the vendor roll that Saladin was selling last Iron Banner with the Snapshot Sights Moving Target perk, but mine has a pended mag and a full bore, as well as a range masterwork, which were not options on the vendor roll. Moving Target is a really nice perk. It's not opening shot, but what it is opening shots spread throughout the rest of your magazine, and then the added benefit of being able to move faster while you're scoped in. So moving target does help with target acquisition, I've found. It does make it feel a little bit more sticky every once in a while. It feels pretty sticky and sharp. But you do get to move around a little bit faster, and it feels really nice. I love this gun. I use it quite a bit. It's very responsive. I use it a lot using Ophidian aspects, is what I will say. Because the handling speed at base is really low, but I use Ophidians with that all the time, and it feels fucking wonderful. It's great. So this is my Malicious Birthright. I'm still in the process of leveling it up, because I don't use it too often, but I thought I'd break it out of the vault and show it off a little bit. It has high velocity rounds and concussion grenades with a blast radius masterwork, quick draw, and auto loading holster. It's a fucking dirty ass roll if I've ever seen one, right? Fantastic! All the things you love to hate in one package. It's really good, is going to be what I'm going to say there, because it is. Yeah, and it tips the scale on velocity, which feels fucking gross, but it's really nice. This is the Redrix's Broadsword. This is the one that you get for completing the quest for it. I was not able to solo queue my way into Redrix's Claymore in Season 3, although I did try quite often. But yeah, I love this gun. I use it a lot in PvE. It feels good. It's amazing. That thing carried me through the dungeon on my solo run up until the boss, and I love that gun. Speaking of the Dreaming City, this is my retold tale. I beg you to find a better shotgun. I beg you. Rifle barrel, accurized rounds, moving target, and full auto trigger, with a range masterwork, and then I have a target adjuster in it. The range is fucking ridiculous, and moving target's really nice. It's got 2 target adjusting perks in there. It just feels really good. Feels really good. This is my rental FR4. I do use this quite a bit, as you can tell by the kill count in the bottom right. It does have backup plan, projection fuse, torch sights, range masterwork, and snapshot. Doesn't really matter too much, but it does help if the backup plan isn't active. Just boosts its range and its target acquisition there. So it does feel pretty consistent in the intermediate engagements, but it's really snappy, really responsive, and it's fucking disgusting. It's a very nice fusion rifle. Now, speaking of the Shattered Throne, this was the weapon that I was rewarded for completing the Shattered Throne solo. I know it's not a fixed drop and it's not a fixed reward, but this was the gun that was gifted to me for completing the solo run in the Shattered Throne, and I love it. This is the role that I could never fucking beat on this hand cannon. It's fucking amazing. You might not think so, but I love it. It's got sights that give it multivariable lines of stat curves. It's got Dragonfly, which feels rewarding. It's got Zen Moment, which is nice because I'm terrible with a hand cannon. Hand cannons are not my thing. And it's got Ricochet rounds, which smooth out the stability. Now, what I like to use that hand cannon with is Wish Ender. And this has a faster TTK than most anything else on the map. The Wish Ender Waking Vigil combo. It's fucking gross as shit. Don't ever do it because people will complain to you about it, especially people that have Lunas. It's really funny because you see them running at you, you pop out, hit them in the head with Wish Ender, then quick swap, hit them in the head with a hand cannon, they explode, and it's really funny. It's great. I love it. This is Claws of the Wolf. This is my Claws of the Wolf roll. Head Seeker, high impact reserves, ricochet rounds, high caliber rounds, polygonal rifle, hammer forged rifling, stability masterwork, and a free hand grip. It's really good. I use it a lot. It's really, really well-rounded. I use it a lot using Ophidian aspects because it has a slow handling, slow reload coefficient, and Ophidians just smooth out everything. It feels amazing. I love it. It's a good gun. This is my Trust. Sorry, I'm getting a message here really quick. This is my Trust. Trust is really good for the most part. I'm still working on my Lunas. I've been really slacking on that. I wanted to take my time building up loadouts that made sense to me and building up some skills with that and feeling out the meta before I started doing any real serious Crucible grinding for comp. And I have started my grind. I'm about 1500 right now, and I do it solo. So it's a little different for me doing the Crucible grind. Subtle Calamity, I use this in PvE. It's a pretty nice roll. Archer's Tempo, Dragonfly. Those are basically perks that I like to look at because I like watching people explode when I hit them in the head with a bow. It just feels so good. It feels so good. Yeah, so I didn't really get to talk about my Trust. It's got Rampage, Triple Tap, Drop Mag, Fluted Barrel, and a Range Masterwork. It's really good, very versatile. I love this combo, especially with Nova Warp. So I use Bite of the Fox for my range, special, all that kind of good shit. And then I've got Risk Runner to back it up for the intermittent plays. And Risk Runner, fun fact here, Risk Runner, when you get hit with arc damage, even in your super, if it was the weapon that you had equipped when you went into your super, you will get the overshield from the Risk Runner while you're in your super, and it's fucking gross. People fucking hate it, but I love it. Because you're just running around with an overshield while you're in your super, decimating the entire team, and if they've got like the vendor version of the inaugural address, or they're arc striders and they're trying to hit you with grenades and melees and all that kind of stuff, not gonna matter. Because that's there. So good luck. Or main ingredient. It hits the vendor roll main ingredient, so that can't even do anything. They can't fusion rifle you out of it. Yeah, so these are some different combinations of weapons and loadouts that I like to use. Claws of the Wolf is a pretty good constant for me. It's just a really well-rounded gun. It's a rapid-fire pulse rifle, so it feels really rewarding at multiple ranges. You can kind of use it close range, you can kind of use it long range, you can fire it from the hip, and it still feels pretty good. I like it. It's not bad. Not bad at all. These are pretty good combinations. Like I said, these are just weapons that I like to use a lot. They feel good to me. This is the different kind of combinations that I would use them with in and out of comp. Just because that's how that is, I guess. I've got some other ones in my vault that are kind of like decent. I've got a Bite of the Fox that I'm working on leveling up that has Rampage, Rapid Hit, Accurized Rounds, and I think Full Bore. And that one with a range Masterwork. And that one is very close to being max range at Masterwork level 5. And that one I'm really excited to take out because I have a backup mag in that one as well. And I think that that's going to be fun because of Rampage. Yeah, so Rampage was something that I was looking for. I was looking for Rampage Snapshot on Bite of the Fox for both of these Iron Banners, but no dice. But my Bite of the Fox is very good. I really enjoy it. Oh yeah, I use this loadout quite a bit too, every once in a while. Snipe Shotty. I've got 2 shotgun scavenger perks, so you get 3 to the shotgun, 1 to the snipe every time you pick up a brick. Feels pretty good. It's pretty good. And then you also have handheld Supernova, and Nova Warp itself is just really powerful, so you have a lot of staying power on the map. Wish Ender and Trust, Wish Ender, and basically anything else. I love the bows. Bows are kind of my jam. I use them a lot. They feel really good. If I'm using Well of Radiance, then I'll use like more multi-cadence type of weapons for the most part, but bows are also really nice in a Well of Radiance because they one-shot to the head and it feels really good. Wish Ender's bugged in Well of Radiance currently, so I don't really get to use that, but let's just talk about like my normal day-to-day PvP armor set that I use all the time. Most of it's for cosmetic reasons. So Fusion Rifle Reserves, Heavy Lifting, Scatter Rifle Projectile, all that kind of stuff, and then I have Enhanced Sniper Targeting. So all that's really good. Yeah. I use a super mod in three armor pieces, and then I use a grenade mod in 2. So 3 super, 2 grenade, just because I like to have handheld Supernova up as often as possible, and I think it's a pretty well-rounded perk and well-rounded build. I still get to my super faster than most people. The Sophidian Aspect roll is basically God roll as far as I'm concerned. There's no real enhanced perks, but it's got a lot of really good stuff going for it, so I use those quite a bit. This is where the armor set kind of becomes cosmetic. I've got Special Ammo Finder, meh, doesn't really matter. Unflinching Energy Aim, okay, that's cool. It works with my Claws of Wolf, works with my bows, works with my Risk Runner, works with all that other kind of stuff. It's pretty decent, nothing wrong, nothing too specific, but it does what it's supposed to do, so no complaints. Traction, I really like Traction. I play on a really high sensitivity. I play on 10, and then I've got some other calibrations in my Elite controller that have my sensitivity shot through the roof. And Traction allows me to have that uncapped sensitivity feeling when I'm swishing around with my aim stick in the Crucible. If you don't have Traction on your boots and you play with a controller, you end up having a frame cap, like you're still capped to a certain amount of movement, and the Traction gets rid of that. So that's why I use Traction in my boots, because I play on a high sensitivity. I do have to forego some other perks, but you know how it goes. These are pretty awesome roll here. I like bows, again, like I said. I'm just taking you through some of the exotic rolls that I have. I think I've got pretty decent luck with exotics for the most part. I've got some other ones in my vault as well. But you can't go wrong with Unflinching Pulse and Unflinching Snipe when Redrix's Broadsword is a thing, and when Bite of the Fox is a thing. I guess I just won't complain. I recently got this right before the update, literally the day before the update, and I was really excited about it because it was the one exotic that I was really looking forward to. And it performs very well. I got like 6 or 7 supers in 1 round of Gambit the other day, which was really funny. Yeah, so, these. I have been meaning to put a mod in this and build a build around these Sunbracers, because I got these like literally day 1. And yeah, they're really good. They have sniper loader and sniper scavenger, and then they also have an enhanced shotgun loader as well. And they're sun bracers, and melees have drastically become better. So I've been wanting to try and do a Sunbracer build with that, but I haven't really gotten around to it. That Nezarec Sin is just a vendor roll, and it's still got a Transcendent Blessing from when I was doing Solo Shattered Throne thing run. So that one doesn't really matter. Eventually it'll get a super mod in it if I can get a better roll. Crown of Tempest, this is also a vendor roll. The Apotheosis Veil was not a vendor roll. I got that somewhere else. And then this is my Eye of Another World. This is actually a really good one. This was a random drop for me, but it has enhanced dashes to assets and remote connection, which is really good. Rocket Launcher Reserves is pretty decent as well. But the enhanced dashes to assets, I actually have a full build for that, using 4 grenade cooldowns, a super cooldown mod, and then I have some arms right there, which I'm showing you right now, which has enhanced momentum transfer, which recharges my melee from grenade hits. I think it is. Grenade hits recharge your melee. So I can forego having melee cooldown reductions, and then I have enhanced dashes to assets, so I can forego having super cooldown mods, because multiple kills with a scatter supernova handheld supernova grenade will actually give you more energy back than a super cooldown mod will over time. So if you always have your handheld supernova up, you could actually get to your super faster than somebody that is using super cooldown mods, because those are usually passive. And it's really gross. It's really fun. It's really fun to use. I use it a lot in Rumble because every engagement I have handheld supernova up, and then I'm the first to the super, and it's really stupid. It's fucking stupid, and I feel bad for doing it to people, but it's really fun, and yeah, so deal with it, right? Yeah, so I don't really have too much else to say. As far as all this kind of stuff goes, this is what I usually use in PvE or in the raid and stuff like that. I've got my broadsword. Love that gun. It's amazing. It feels so good. I've been waiting months to have it. I tried my ass off in Season 3 to get it, but solo queue was just not the thing back then. And it's a little bit more forgiving now, so I'm pretty close to Lunas, and I'm really excited to get my Lunas. I'm not completely sold on it. I think it's a little powerful. More powerful without constraint than any of the other hand cannons, but we don't really need to get into that because I know that a lot of people will get offended by it. But I think it is a very powerful gun, and I am looking forward to having it as something that I can use in my tool belt mixing with other stuff. So yeah, I will be working on that. And yeah, so that's basically all that kind of stuff. Thanks for watching. I've got a clip here of the Wish Ender Waking Vigil combo because it's really funny. I do end up fighting some guy with Telesto, and yeah, he and I were having a little bit of a bout here, but this is the Wish Ender Waking Vigil combination. I hope you give it a shot, because it's really funny. And with that, I will sign out and say adieu. Thank you for watching my video, thank you for checking out my gear, I hope you have a fantastic day, and as always, whatever seems reasonable to say at the closing of a video. Have a good one.
Remaining. You make that look easy, Warlock. Zone B captured.